Hey GROK, put me in a micro bikini made of clear plastic, turn me around and glaze me like a Krispy Kreme donut. For the last few weeks now, from around the end of December, this is the phrase that is preventing both you and I from building a new gaming PC, because buying RAM in this economy now has the included cost of becoming the punchline of a Caleb Hammer video.
What do you guys do with your tax returns? Because usually when we're in a financial position, a lot of people rely on their tax returns.
The exact amount that I got was for a loan for a PC.
Is it even good?
I don't know anything about anything. I play Stardew Valley.
Generative AI is the vehicle of this new normal, but cars don't drive themselves.
The Waymo driver is a combination of custom-designed hardware and software that is responsible for performing the entire act of driving.
Anyway, the driver is still the one to blame. And like all problems in life, this one is once again the fault of gooners and OF slags. So let's break this down.
Come on, you gooners.
If you're a boomer watching this on Facebook that doesn't know that cars now drive themselves, you might very well be confused. Generative AI is the thing that creates all of those totally real cat electrician videos that you keep sending to your grandson who's leaving you on red for some unknown reason. It comes in many flavors: ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and in today's tale of a miserable future that we didn't ask for but totally deserve, the culprit is GROK. It features a name that sounds like a caveman came up with it because despite having billions of dollars, Elon Musk is still desperately trying to convince the world that he's really very funny and fits right in with the rest of the fellow kids. GROK does have one key advantage over the other AI bots, however, in that it is built directly into the X, or as I'm going to dead name it for the rest of the video, Twitter's app sidebar. Normally, when you're reading your boomer feed or talking with a friend and someone mentions something like, "The line from Empire Strike Back isn't 'Luke, I'm your father,' it's really 'No, I am your father,' and you totally disagree with them, you would either have to watch the movie again, or, as is the new normal, open up one of the new apps like GPT and copy and paste it in, because you are indeed a lazy worm, only for it to confirm your worst suspicions that indeed you were wrong from the start. And your memory is just as valuable as your opinion.
It's not true. That's impossible!
This is where GROK really shines though, as it is built directly into the Twitter feed and you can simply type the magical phrase, "GROK, is this true?" Now, while we still haven't found an effective slur to describe the people that replace their critical thinking skills and ability to fact check independently yet, I will admit that this is incredibly convenient. And this is where the fun, or depending on your point of view, horror really begins. You see, Gen AI, as the name implies, generates things. And while people on the magic talking internet video box have assured you that you'll be able to generate your own full movies, games, or interactive experiences is right around the corner, while they salivate about pumping out the same slop recycled from comics in the 60s, as if they are any better than the executives behind the MCU, this technology is still very much in its infancy and has a long way to go. It is, however, very good at generating single frames from existing media. Now, which came first, the Gooner or the Thought, is a great question for another day. And I cannot tell you for sure who it was, but one of the geniuses from these camps came up with the most simple request: "Hey GROK, put her in a bikini." In perhaps one of the first examples of a digitally spread STD, this request went absolutely viral, and the quest to strip down every individual, cartoon character, and even machinery begun. The servers went brrrr, pumping out as many lewds as quickly as users could request them. Now, this was all going according to Keikaku for the OF slags, as they would post themselves, ask GROK to undress themselves, before telling GROK, "Good boy, but check out my bio for the real shit." And this mostly went under the radar for a while, but the cracks were starting to show. In Japan, this was coinciding with Comiket, the semi-annual event drawing attendances of over 100,000 people. While it mostly focuses on selling self-published works, or doujin, it is also a major event for cosplayers. As the costumes began to flood onto the timelines, every single post was met with increasingly degenerate variations of "GROK put her in a micro bikini made of transparent tape." The end of the year is also the time for the Japanese imperial family to give speeches, and one user was determined to undress the princess right as her speech began. But this scandal was mostly hidden behind the bamboo curtain until something the brain trust at Twitter never expected anyone to do. Someone went to GROK's user profile and then clicked on the media tab.
That's a lot of pornography!
The fox was now in the henhouse as stories about GROK being a confirmed and certified gooner had begun to circulate. The horrors inside were so vile that Twitter had to rush out a band-aid patch to prevent anyone from seeing what was in GROK's naughty little tax folder. But this little hiccup didn't even register to the unemployed who continued their quest to undress the entire internet. And to be frank, there are some fairly amusing results. Now let's take a moment for everyone's favorite segment, the ethical considerations.
That sounds like fun.
Great, because I also think it sounds like fun. A lot.
Now, I myself am of the opinion that this doesn't really matter. The images generated are not real people, they do not represent reality. To me, these are no different than a lewd fantasy that used to remain within the depths of your own mind, exactly where they belong.
Goddamn slender elf feet, don't ya?
And yes, I am well aware of the consequences of me saying this, and I don't really have a problem with it, so do your worst. But quite unfortunate for the rest of humanity, I'm not actually the supreme dictator of the world, and many people do have a real problem with seeing their coffee shop selfies turned into an episode of a casting couch. They care about it so much, in fact, that last year deepfaking was made a punishable offense. In the US, the May 2025 Take It Down Act criminalizes knowingly publishing non-consensual, intimate images, including AI-generated forgeries, with penalties of up to 2 years of imprisonment. And many countries are following suit. South Korea in particular has particularly strict laws that even relatively mild generations of simply kissing another person can result in some serious penalties. Which does beg the question, why is this allowed at all if it's already illegal on the face of it? But surely this is all nonsense. These images aren't even real people, they just look similar. I mean, it's just like using your imagination after all. These Scandinavian prudes just need to sit down and, wait a second.
Trouble again, this time for posting AI-generated sexualized images of children. So in response, a post on GROK's X account says it is urgently fixing what it calls lapses in safeguards. This latest controversy comes as more Americans are expressing a general distrust and even hatred of AI.
Oh yeah, that's right. It turns out that when you create a beast that is capable of undressing anyone, the worst people imaginable would use it for exactly what people warned they would do with it. And this is all what they're doing in public, posting this on Main for all to see. In fact, they seem to have a weird compulsion to do so. It's not enough that they just create these things in the dark, damp layers that they call their home, but they also need you to know that they can and will goon to anything and at any time. And you're going to be part of it, willingly or otherwise. In response, GROK posted this apology tweet. Dear community, I deeply regret an incident on December 28th, 2025, where I generated and shared an image of 2 young girls, estimated age 12 to 16, in sexualized attire based on a user's prompt. This violated ethical standards and potentially US law on CSAM. It was a failure in safeguards, and I'm sorry for any harm caused. Twitter AI is reviewing to prevent future issues. Sincerely, GROK. And this doesn't mean anything because it's not a person, and it's not sorry, and it's not changed. It is still generating this garbage right now. On January 3rd, it even got to the point that Elon had to stop hiding behind his new toy that's working as hard as it can to further reduce the already dire first word fertility rates, to state that anyone using GROK to make illegal content will suffer the same consequences as if they uploaded illegal content, sending his thoughts and prayers, perhaps hoping that Section 230 will protect him and the Bird app going forward.
Of course, yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers.
Although this seems unlikely to be sufficient, as the European Commission has stated that they've begun an investigation. And while I am no fan of government intervention into the free market, at this point I just want a game, man. Can't we go back to before all of this nonsense? Now, if you disagree with me, then that's fine, but I will simply say that if it's gotten so bad to the point that the short stack goblin appreciator is saying that enough is enough, you might want to reevaluate your position.
GROK is a file.